Hi everyone, it's Jenny. I'm back again with another card. This time I'm playing along with the Time Out Challenge's current challenge. And it's a photo inspiration challenge, so I recommend you go check out the blog. I've got the link down in the details below. And I'm going to show you how I used the Pinkfresh Studios Merry and Bright stamp set and die to do some simple clean colour real brush marker colouring, die cutting and embellishing with Nuvo drops. So I'm starting off with the coordinating stamp set and die, and I'm going to be stamping my image in Versamark Ink. It's a clear sticky ink that's used for heat embossing, and because the stamp that I'm going to be using is quite large, I'm going to use my mini Misty to make sure that I get it fully inked up and get a good clean impression. So I've prepped my cardstock already with a powder tool, and the cardstock I'm using for this is Bristol Smooth, because when you use the clean colour real brush markers, which in the way I'm using them today, which is direct to paper, no water, they blend so much better when you use this cardstock. So I'm prepping my cardstock with the powder bag, and I'm going to be heat embossing with Ranger Liquid Platinum embossing powder, which is a really nice warm silvery colour. It's not quite gold. And I did actually stamp the image twice using my Misty, although I did cut it out a little bit from the video. Anyone who doesn't have a Misty or a similar stamping tool, and obviously I love the Misty, I highly recommend getting one. They have saved my bacon on a number of occasions. So I'm just applying the embossing powder, and I got my heat tool good and hot, and I'm taking it to the paper to get it smooth and melted. I'm using Zig Clean Colour Real Brush markers in a variety of colours. I will see if I can list out which ones I used down in the description box below, but it was I think it was Geranium, Wine Red, Dark Pink, light blue, a darker blue and a yellow, and I'm just literally applying them directly to the cardstock, one colour, and then blending it out with the other, and because I'm using Bristol it blends perfectly. So I'm going to turn on some music and I will see you back on the other side. How cute are those birds with their little Santa hats? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the matching die to die cut a separate piece of cardstock, which I've trimmed down to be the same size as my coloured panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And the cardstock I'm using is by Altenew. It's their Woodgrain in the bark colour. And I've used my Big Shot. I've die cut the image. And what I'm going to do is pop that up over the coloured piece and adhere it down with glue runner. I'm using a dot liner glue runner. I think it's by Kikuyo, which Jennifer Maguire recently recommended, and it's really good for a technique like this. As you can see, there's lots of tiny little pieces that hang off in the centre, and the dots on the glue runner, they don't stick where there isn't any cardstock, so it works great. You don't get any overhangs. Now I did make a big smudge in the middle, but it's okay. I can save that because I'm going to adhere down the piece from the centre of the die cut as well. For my sentiment, I'm using the Merry Christmas from the card set, and I'm going to heat emboss it using the same embossing powder, the liquid platinum, on a strip of Bristol Smooth cardstock, and heat emboss it. And then what I'll do is trim it out and pop it up onto the front of the card. The card panel itself, I kept it as a full panel, and I adhered it down to a card base made from Neenah Solar White 110-pound heavyweight cardstock. And then I'm going to add some embellishments to the panel just for added interest, because apparently I cannot make a card these days without some sort of Nouveau drops, Nouveau paste, Nouveau glitter, or Stickles. It just has to be done. But just before I do my embellishments, there are a couple of little extra twiggy bits in the stamp set, and I decided to use 2 of those. I actually stamped out 3, but I only ended up using 2. And they actually coordinate with the smaller dies that come in the coordinating die set. And I stamped those in Versamark, and then heat embossed them in the matching Ranger liquid platinum embossing powder. And then I applied the very teeny tiny coordinating dies, held them down in place with some washi tape, and ran them through my Big Shot. I applied the die cut twigs around the sentiment to give it a little bit more of a frame next to the words, and I just simply applied those with some liquid adhesive. I think it was Zig 2A glue pen. And then I moved on to embellishing the front. So for my embellishments, I used 2 types of Nouveau drops. I used the Nouveau Gloss White drops, which I used for the pom-poms on the little birds' Santa hats, and some of the berries, which I guess could be mistletoe, so I put some of the Nouveau Gloss White drops there. And then I also used some Nouveau Jewel drops in Strawberry Coulis for the pinkish reddish berries. Now the jewel drops are in reality only very lightly tinted, so whilst it looks like the berries themselves are very red, that's because I coloured them with the red pen. The jewel drops themselves are just a really subtle colour, and I highly recommend them. I love jewel drops. And then for the centres of the poinsettias, I'm going old school. I'm going back to my Stickles. So the Stickles I'm using here is Mercury glass, which is really similar in colour to the liquid platinum embossing powder, that kind of warm silvery colour. And I just put a few drops of the Stickles into the centre of each of the poinsettias, and that finishes the card. So I hope you enjoyed. Please go check out the time out challenges that we've got running. That closes this week. No, we've got another 5 days to run, so next week, next Thursday, if you're watching this today on the 14th of December 2017. Finishes that card. I did just want to show you a quick shot of what I did with the other part of the die cut. I basically heat embossed the large stamp again over the top in gold Ranger superfine embossing powder, popped it up onto some Altenew Woodgrain cardstock in powder, and added some more Stickles in red and the white and green Nouveau drops. So 2 cards for the price of 1. Hope you enjoyed. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye.